Hello and welcome to Boring Dead Gaming, where today I'm going to be starting a campaign of Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40K. So, yeah, I played some of the beta earlier in the year on the channel and enjoyed it a lot, but it's the time for the full release, which I'm very excited to dive into. Similar to how I did it with the Baldur's Gate series that I did, Baldur's Gate 3, I think I'm going to have a sort of an episode 0, which will be this episode, which is going to concentrate on my character creation. I'm not hugely familiar with the setting. I've always thought it's pretty cool, but for whatever reason, never really sort of played it when I was a younger boring dad. But yeah, so I'm going to spend a bit of time kind of going through the character creation stuff and kind of decide the sort of build that I want to play, and then we'll kick it off with episode 1 following, which will be straight into the campaign. So thanks to everyone who stuck around for this to see the character creation. I'll anything that I kind of know but thinks might require explanation, I'll do that as well. Other stuff I'm probably just going to be learning as I go, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the game, shall we? Sure. Okay, main story, here we go. So we're going to take up the mantle of a rogue trader, the scion of an ancient dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade protectorate and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. Darkness looms over the bloodline of von Valancius as it faces multiple threats from within its own ranks and without, as countless enemies seek to destroy the most daring and brave agents of humanity. It is up to you to hold the reins of this shattered protectorate and forge a new path for the von Valancius dynasty, currently finding itself in a vortex of wars, intrigues, calamities, and heresy. The stakes are high and rise even higher as you cross paths with terrifyingly powerful and ambitious adversaries in the darkness of the Coronis expanse. Difficulty. So, as with Owlcat's previous games, both of which I have played, Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, and enjoyed a lot. There's two of my favourite RPGs, in fact. Very, very modular, granular in terms of the difficulty settings. You can sort of have an archetype, but within that you can change stuff to either make your playthrough a little harder or a little easier in certain areas. I'm going to start off with, and if it's anything like their previous games, you can do this mid-campaign as well. So I'm not going to worry too much about going through these now. I'm just going to go in for the normal setting. I don't want to go at an easier setting, because I have played before, but equally, there's a lot in terms of the mechanics and stuff that are unfamiliar to me, so I don't want to sort of throw myself in at the deep end. But if we feel that things are either too hard or too easy, we can go through this later on and tailor it a little bit. I'm going to make a custom character, I know that much. In terms of appearance, so what I thought character-wise I might do is play a Psyker, which is kind of the Warhammer 40K's equivalent of sorcerers, wizards, mages, basically, in a equivalent in D&D. So we're going to be sort of throwing out the Warhammer 40k version of spells and abilities, like things like chain lightning and stuff like that, which sounds pretty fun. So I'm going to go and do that. So I think I might play a female as well. Usually in RPGs I tend to play a male, but maybe we'll play a female this time. Who sort of strikes me as a bit of a psyker? Definitely not that. He looks pretty cool. Oh, mate, this is the female equivalent, isn't it? The thing is, I don't like being bald. Does look pretty cool though. I sometimes wish they had a few more choices. I might go for this. This might be us. I mean, she's more of a priest type, I guess, but I don't mind that. So, okay, so our character model kind of... I like that it kind of sets your character model to be an equivalent. Yeah, you see, so... It's not awful, I just didn't see myself playing a baldy in this one, so... But then her hair is quite bouffant, isn't it? What about this dude? So he's bald, but he's got a hood on in his This thing. Tell you what, this is obviously the female psyker. Let's go for that. Let's lead into it. Appearance. I mean, I'm happy enough with that. They've made it look like the thumbnail, so I'm happy. Obviously bald. Tattoo-wise, yeah, why not? We could. That's like, okay, if we could, oh, can we, oh, okay, we can only pick one. Fair enough. I thought maybe we could have one on each arm. Can we have like a, oh, no, it's okay, we can have more than one. Okay, let's have one on our back. I don't really want any more going on our head. There's already quite a lot happening there. But I would maybe I'd get like a sleeve on each arm. Maybe a sleeve on the left arm. And ooh, maybe like a chain on. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind the default colour either. It sort of ties in with the thing we got going on cranially there. Augmentations. Oh, okay, so we can alter this actually. Okay, well that's the one we've been given by default. I mean, I might stick with it, or we could kind of just make it a bit less full on. I don't mind that actually. All right, let's go with that. Voice.
The course. The Emperor gave me a vision.
Keep your wits about you.
Send their souls to the void.
Applaud my brilliance.
Fire the lance batteries.
I am but a harbinger of the destruction.
I always get the job done.
Rend the flesh, shatter the spirit.
I think it's a choice between these two for me.
I am the chosen weapon that will crush the heathens. Let chaos paint the stars red.
I think I'll go with Heretic. We'll go Heretic. Okay, Homeworld. So this is kind of a bit of our background, I suppose. It's going to give us certain starting attributes, depending on where we come from. Like Deathworld here, we've started with extra strength, extra agility, extra toughness. So more of kind of maybe like a melee type character, perhaps. Voidborn gives us willpower, which is what, as a psyker, we'll be using as kind of our main combat stat. So that's quite good. Similar with intelligence. And less strength doesn't bother me at all, because we're not going to be a strength build. Fortune. A Voidborn character can reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry, characteristic or skill test with a 20% chance of success. This chance cannot be greater than the base success chance of the roll. So if we're doing something with a really, really low percentage chance, like sub 20%, we can re-roll it if we fail. A 1 in 5 chance of getting it the second time. Additionally, any enemy dodge or parry against a Voidborn character has a 20% chance to fail after a successful roll. I think that sounds pretty good. I can expand... Well, expanding it is just the same text, isn't it? Following features will be available after Origin Advancement. Bloody mess. Anytime a Voidborn character scores a crit, there is a 10% chance to double the damage. Nice. 20% chance to survive after suffering lethal damage. Nice. Voidborn character can instead use the intelligence. Which would be good. We'll probably be putting points into intelligence, but we'll get into those stats in a little bit. Additionally, Voidborn characters can always upgrade intelligence. What? Anytime. Oh yeah, I did read that. Jinx. Huh. Interesting, that one. Okay, Hive World, meanwhile. Fellowship and Agility. So that's maybe more of a officer type thing, perhaps? You know, kind of spurring on colleagues and maybe shooting from range type thing. Forge World, Intelligence and Toughness. Okay. Imperial World, Humanity's Finest. Can select any characteristic except for weapon skill or ballistic skill and add a 10 bonus. That's not bad. But I don't really see myself going down the super loyal to the Emperor route, so maybe not. And this looks like a bit like a sort of shooting class. Yeah. I think we're going to go Voidborn. So let's read their description here. Voidborn are humans birthed in the belly of a void vessel or aboard an ancient orbital satellite. Those who have lived their lives on void ships become inured to some extent due to the reality-altering process of warp travel and to living in low or zero gravity environments. In many cases, their features are drawn and their skin pallid. They may even have minor deformities or a strangeness to their speech, gait, or general appearance that sets them apart from others. Sounds pretty cool. Alright, let's move on. Origin. So the origin is basically what sort of starting class we are, I think. So yeah, not commander, commissar, officer, crime lord. No, I mean I'm going to be a sanctioned psyker. I think it's got to be this. So, psykers are feared and distrusted, but are nonetheless valuable assets to the Imperium. The role of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica is to recruit, identify, and classify those found to possess psychic abilities. The most powerful, who somehow survive the rigorous sanctioning rituals, are selected to serve on the battlefield. The mind of a sanctioned psyker is steeled against the manifold dangers risked by wielders of warp powers. You were one of those found worthy to serve humanity and have miraculously survived the perils of the warp. Basically can cause madness and all sorts of stuff. Note, damaging psyker powers count as weapon attacks, counting towards the normal attack limit per round, and gaining all the benefits of abilities and talents, increasing the damage of attacks. For example, a soldier using on the run and gun ability will be able to use damaging psyker powers twice per turn, and an operative Analyze Enemies ability affects the damage of damaging psyker powers. Good. Okay, so features. Sanctioned Psyker. We have a reduced by 20% chance to trigger psychic phenomena. Each time a psyker uses their psychic powers, the veil between real space and the warp degrades, which can trigger psychic phenomena. These are more disconcerting than dangerous, intruding into the thoughts of people around the psyker, or causing omens and visions. Psychic phenomena reduce the momentum of the party, distracting them from combat, lowering their morale, or just causing bad luck. Psykers can be sanctioned or unsanctioned. Chances that sanctioned psykers will cause psychic phenomena are halved, while unsanctioned psykers instead have increased chances and +1 to their psi rating. Okay. The character is a psyker, albeit quite a weak one, so we're less risk of having negative effects on our party when we use our powers, but we're not as powerful. I think that's okay. So we got some extra toughness and willpower, so we should have a +10 bonus to that. Warp Law makes sense with our Voidborn background. Carouse. It represents the ability to resist negative effects applied by some poison, stimulators, or alcohol. They give access to new dialogue options. Okay. And then after advancing, we can get more willpower, more law, ability, so our psi rating's going to increase. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I think we can pick, in D&D, it would be like a school of magic. So divination specializes in gleaning information and using it to turn fortune in your favor. Diviners find useful insights everywhere, manifesting extrasensory abilities and glimpsing the future. Interesting, possibly boring. more boring than pyromancy, which is catching my eye already. Pyromancer is a master of flame, a psyker who is able to create searing infernos out of thin air. Pyromancy is one of the most spectacular and destructive forms of psychic ability, and those who face a pyromancer in combat are oft reduced to naught but a pile of charred bones. I like the sound of that. Telepathy. Psykers whose mental expertise lies in contacting and controlling the minds of others. With a single thought, a telepath can tear away his foe's sanity, induce states of numbing terror, or possess his victims' thoughts and mould their actions as if they were his own. I mean, that's interesting, don't get me wrong. Sanctic powers. A concentration of faith, sanctic powers are used by pious psykers to protect allies and smite heretics. Yeah. Biomancy focuses on manipulating living flesh and biological processes. They can heal wounds and alter physical characteristics. I mean, it's going to be if it's a choice of one of these, it's going to be pyromancy. Okay, so let's move on to the next. So you've got a little more detail now about what these various schools of magic involve, what abilities and talents they bring, but let's look at more detail at the pyromancer. We've read that already, and that. So ignite, this is an ability that we'll get, or a feature I should say. The target suffers from 1 + 5 times psi rating, which is currently 0, so I hope that's not 1. To psych suffers that's a minimum of 1 to our willpower bonus and +5, which at the moment is 10 + 15 times psi rating, so that'd be 1 to 15 damage basically at this stage of our development, and gains the warp burn effect. This attack has 5 times psi rating % armor penetration. We need to get that psi rating up, don't we? Because that's 0% armor penetration at the moment. Warp burn deals Psychers willpower bonus +2 times psi rating damage to the target at the end of their turn. Yeah, so it's kind of like you put a burn on a character and then per turn it will reapply damage, which is good. The abilities: Firestorm only impacts creatures suffering from the warp burn or burning. Warp burn or burning. Okay, so they can take burning from other sources then, like flamethrowers, flamers, that sort of thing. Everyone adjacent to the target point suffers the effects of the ignite psychic power. Well, that's cool. The target does not stop burning and no longer makes tests to stop burning. Additionally, if it's an ally, every melee attack that ally makes inflicts full burning damage on target. Okay, so we can cast this on an ally who I'm hoping doesn't need to be burning. They make full burning damage on targets of their attack, while they themselves now only suffer half burning damage from now on. That's pretty cool. Molten Beam deals double the damage of Ignite to all creatures in a 12-cell line and reduces their armor by -10 + 2. But yeah, okay. Until the end of combat. Everything we do is affected by this psi rating, so we need to get that up. Deals blah blah blah. Inflame. All burning conditions will deal +2 times psi rating more damage. Okay. Incinerate. The target suffers double the damage, the ignite psychic power, and half the fire damage of all the burning creatures within line of sight of the target. Double the damage and half the fire. I mean, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, this all sounds awesome. Melting armor, blah blah blah. I'm not going to read all of those, but I think this sounds like the sort of thing I like. A triumph, huh? Apex of Brilliance. Upon solving the mystery of a powerful, psychically active Xeno artifact, you manage to destroy the creation of countless enemies of humanity. So this gives us an extra +5 to Xeno's lore. We can give ourselves a +5 to Persuasion as probably the party leader a lot of the time. That's not going to be too bad. Quite good, in fact. You single-handedly saved a pilgrim ship by stopping a warp breach while travelling through the Immaterium. Feat of Greatness. Now, Coercion, that's a manipulation through intimidation, whereas Persuasion is a little more friendly. Negotiation. Good impressions, peaceful. I mean, I don't want to go down an evil route, but the power of your sorcery crushed a demon of the archenemy and drove it back into the warp. It's going to be one or the other of these. I don't want to necessarily do an evil run my first time round, so let's pick Persuasion. And although I'm like a Sanctioned Psyker and a Fire Mage, effectively, well, I'm not going to be an evil one. Darkest Hour. You're accused of being possessed by a warp entity and forced into exile, leaving your soul forever scarred. Okay, so Triumph is a bonus, Darkest Hour is a negative. So Logic. I kind of don't want to lose that. Awareness. Noticing traps and hidden things. I feel like that might be a bad one to lose. And Lore Warp. I'll take the Logic hit. Now, archetypes. So, you can only choose one of the first tier archetypes at this moment. Archetypes are development paths that your characters follow. Each archetype encapsulates a unique set of skills and expertise and represents a specific combat specialization, from the frontline warrior to the indispensable leader preferring to command from the rear. Choose who you want to be in the grimdark future of Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. So I mean, obviously warrior and soldier doesn't really sound like our sort of thing, does it? Officer, maybe? So if we click on this, they use their willpower, which is good because that's going to be our primary stat, and fellowship to improve the combat abilities of their allies, turning them into even greater threats on the battlefield. Core focus, extra turns, single target buffs, rescue allies, momentum. That all sounds pretty good. And we can see if we highlight this, we can, our sort of next routes are things like Master Tactician, which I can't even... Oh, we can take a bit of a look, but I mean, it's going to be fairly meaningless to me at this point, quite honestly. Gone back there. Back to up. How do I close this window? To archetypes, there we go. Well, we've got the operative, who uses intelligence and perception to find and exploit weaknesses in enemies' defenses. Kind of a rogue type, isn't it? Persuasion, good. I'm feeling like I'm going to... Well, let's take a look at the others. Warriors are combatants, boasting exceptional melee prowess. So that's not good. That is not... Yeah, as we thought, that's not us. And I'm assuming soldier is like a ranged variant of that. Master of all ranged weapons. So I think as a psyker, probably... I think probably officer. I think that's probably the best match with our build here. Not sure what we'll choose at level 16 yet, but we'll learn more as we go. So I've got... Can I reduce these down? I can't reduce weapon or ballistic skill any lower than they are, which is a shame. Obviously willpower we want to be higher, so as... Let's go through these actually. So weapon skill is, as I understand it, melee skill, effectively. Close combat, it says here. Increases parry and reduces enemy parry and dodge chance against melee attacks. There we go. So that's not really us. Ballistic skill, similarly, is ranged combat. Now, strength is how physically strong we are, affects how much damage we do with melee weapons, and allows them to lift heavier objects. It also affects athletic skill, which is our ability to traverse difficult terrain. So probably fairly low for us. Toughness is an important one for everyone, I think, though. So, in this game, in this setting, you don't have HP. You have wounds. So anything that talks about our character's wounds, that's referring to our health, effectively. Beyond that, you have, I think, is it injuries and traumas, if you get downed, and they have negative effects on your various abilities and stuff. So this defines how easily we can shrug off injuries and resist toxins, poisonous environments, all of that stuff. Increases the chance of resisting negative physical effects and the amount of the character's wounds. So we want that to be fairly decent, whatever type of character we are, I think. For each bonus point of toughness, characters gain plus 10% wounds, i.e. health. And also affects the carouse skill, which is, yeah, drinking, but also shrugging off poison and that kind of thing. Maybe. I may give myself another point in that. Agility is quickness, reflexes, and poise. Allows a character to manipulate delicate explosives with finesse, or to keep their footing when crossing dangerous terrain. Improves initiative, which is always very important, I think. Might give myself an extra point in that for mainly that reason. Dodge chance is going to be important for us also, I think, because we're going to be probably like a light armor build. The character uses melee, blah, 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 and demolition. So I've got another 4 points to spend effectively. Intelligence. Measurement of knowledge. Might bump that up another one. Perception. Reduces enemy dodge chance against... I think as long as we have a high perception character in the party, I think that would be good. It doesn't necessarily need to be us, I don't think. Willpower. So this is our primary attack stat. It reflects a character's ability to withstand the horrors of warp, the terrors of space, and the dreadful opponents they're bound to encounter in the Coronis Expanse. High willpower allows characters to exert control over a crowd or interrogate a heretic. Also increases the chances of resisting negative mental effects and psychic powers. So I think we're going to give ourselves a double bump to that, so we're up to 50 on that now. Which is pretty cool. We've already got like an extra 20 from our various origin things that we chose. Oh, this might the 10 might be what I added. I think we had a bonus 10 anyway from the other stuff. Now, fellowship is how we interact with others: deceive, charm, persuade, coerce, and trade prices, I think. So I might give us a little 1 point bump to that as well. So I'm going to be doing a lot of the conversations, so I want to be able to persuade people when I want to. So yeah, I think that's looking all right. What about the intelligence? Yeah, intelligence affects a lot, especially lore and logic and tech use. So I think that's good. Good thing to have. Now, a void ship, we can choose this one. Oh, okay, and we can name it. I'm not going to do my usual thing of just doing like calling it boring dad ship or something. I kind of want to have like a thematic name. Invictum Erebus sounds pretty good. What else have we got? Oh, Unforgiven. That sounds pretty badass, doesn't it? Okay. Why don't we call it the BDS Unforgiven? And that stands for Boring Dad Ship. The BDS Unforgiven. So this, blah, 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 blah. I thought we got different choices of void ship, but it seems not. I'm not going to read all of this right now, seeing as we've only got the choice of one. Maybe you unlock others as you go. Here we go. So we're going to edit our name, obviously. We're going to be... boring... Oh, don't know why it's... Boring Dame. I don't know if I like that. How about something like Dahlia von Borinicus. Borinicus? Don't like the G in that. Maybe we'll just do Borinicus. Like that. Dahlia von Borinicus. That's our name. And that's who we are. There we go. So, outfit settings. Okay, what we got here? Colour schemes. Okay. What do we like the look of? Kind of like the dark blue for it, although I think as a fire mage, probably like a red would work well. Yeah, we want to show the helm. I think the hoods are badass. The backpack, probably not. I think we'll go without backpack. Or we could go naked. No, we don't want to be naked. We'll show backpack off. Yeah, that looks cool. So there we go. That's our character. So we're going to leave it here for now. Actually, let's do continue. There's probably going to be starting cinematics and stuff, so let's do all that now. So let's just complete the process and start the actual game itself. I've installed on my SSD, so I'm hoping the load times and stuff will be fairly decent. Looks like we're almost there already. In terms of the various mechanics and stuff, I mean, I'm going to be learning a lot of this stuff as I go, and I'll try and explain, you know, the more esoteric stuff to the best of my ability as it comes up. I'm not going to front load the series with all of that stuff. We'll deal with the mechanics and the gameplay elements and stuff as we go, I think, rather than do it all up front. music is kick-ass, I will say that.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
So a quick word on the voice acting as I understand it, and this was something that Owlcat said, way back in development. I believe is going to be partially voiced, probably the main cutscene stuff will probably be voiced. Key dialogue in quests and stuff, perhaps. Character barks. But there'll be times when it's not, and then I'll try and do my best to kind of fill in on those times. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Now I'm going to do this one. All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify.
An interesting perspective. However, allow me to offer you a bit of advice. In the interests of your own well-being, you should frame your thoughts with greater piety. Demonstrating such a lack of care when choosing your words might be viewed by certain people as evidence of insufficient trepidation before the God Emperor, the master of humanity.
You seem to attach much importance to words. Well, I have a fondness for names. I have yet to hear yours.
My apologies. The statements you made were so intriguing that I forgot myself. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencius. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
My name is Dahlia von Borinicus.
My regards, mistress. Or should I say, von Valencius?
Oh no, I've given myself a double von.
Rogue Trader House, in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you. Understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of a ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
You say I am one of the Rogue Trader's heirs, so there is another candidate.
There is. And you will meet him soon enough.
I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Here we go. So, movement. Yeah, I don't need basic stuff. I don't think. Now, can I save? I can save. Good. Okay. So what I'm going to do? Let's just go into the menu a second. I think the music will tone down a little bit. I'm just going to say thanks very much for watching the character creation and intro cinematic video for my Rogue Trader series. I hope you're going to join me for the rest. Thank you to all those who've sat through it thus far. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. I've tried to explain some of the concepts as I understand them, but there's going to be a lot more to come as well. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, if you could hit the thumbs up on this, that'd be amazing. If you could leave me a comment, let me know if this is a game you've looked forward to. Is it something you're going to play yourself? Is it something you're going to stick around and watch on the channel? I really hope so. And if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, it'd be amazing if you could do that too. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time for the full launch of Rogue Trader on Boring Dad Gaming. Bye for now.